Yeah, we are meeting after a short break and long one. Okay. So I also see that the exams are fast approaching, and many of you are geared up for your exams. Okay. So when I talk of exams, what exactly as a student, what is your feeling? What exactly is the thought that comes to your mind when we talk about exams? Huh? Okay. What is it? No, you're free to see. When I ask you to express your thoughts, you're open and free to express your thoughts. What exactly you feel? Okay. One of our friends says, young friend says, sir, it's more of a fear. Beautiful, good. Okay. For many it is stress. For the other guy it is anxiety. Very good. I appreciate. Huh? For few they say it is depression. No issues, no issues. See, you are some, big number, and each of you might have a different feeling when it comes to exams. One of you might be anxious, one of you might be afraid, one of you might be stressed. The boy there is telling, sir, I am excited. Let it come, we'll see. The girls don't look who that boy is. I have just imagined. Nobody told about excitement. Okay, this is my thought because I am done with my exams. I am excited to see you giving exams. The other way around. Okay, fine. So you are talking about fear, you are talking about anxiety, fine, and lot of other thoughts that come to your mind. Assuming tomorrow you have a patient, who comes to your clinic, or the mother, the parents, they bring the patient to your clinic, and the major problem here is, sir, my daughter has exams and she is nervous, she is anxious. Okay. So as a homeopathic budding doctor, what are the remedies that comes to your mind? Okay, this one remedy, Celicia, very good. Okay, the other remedy is Gelsemium, Anacardium, very good, good, beautiful, appreciate, Anacardium. And you also have remedies like, for example, Aconate, okay. And then you can also think of remedies like Ethusa from the first year syllabus. You can also think of remedies like Argentum if you start going higher. But one remedy that comes to your mind, or that generally comes to a homeopath's mind, is Gelsemium. And many times we see there is a huge demand in the OPD. The person who is packing 1 or 2 days before exams, he'll be seeing lot of homeopathy students coming to him and Uncle Gelsemium Dado. Right? And this is how Gelsemium is known, that is a beautiful remedy for examination fear. So what we are going to do is, we are going to understand this beautiful remedy, Gelsemium, in detail. Now before I start Gelsemium, I'll just share a small case, a video case of my patient from my clinic. Please observe the video, and whatever you feel are your observations, please make a note, and I'll definitely come back to you and we'll discuss. Okay, so we'll go for this video, and one second, yeah, hopefully, okay. Or I'll do one thing, I will come back to the PPT a little later. Okay, I'll be showing you a small video of a small boy who had please observe this, and so it's a very tiny video, fine. But this video, if you capture in your mind, it will tell you a lot of things, and it can be very handy for you in your future when you have such patients coming to your clinic. Okay. So I'll keep it short. There is some issue with the audio because this setup is not meant for audio. But what was your observation? Okay, very good. One of your friends quickly says drowsiness. Okay. Anything else other than drowsiness that you could appreciate? I don't mean playing it again because it's hardly 30 seconds. Please observe and you let me know. Boys, just have a look. Huh? Okay, he is having fever. 102.8 is the fever. Okay. Now what are the other observations? See, I understand because you are first year students and you are just taking your first year exams. But I am confident that you can come up with some answers. So what are the probable things? One girl beautifully observed and she is talking of the boy being drowsy. Very good. It's a very nice observation. And hats off first year if you can have this kind of an understanding, I am very, very happy. Good, other than drowsiness. Huh? Sleepy. Tired. Okay, more than tired. Yeah, dullness. What do you mean by dullness? What is dull? Okay, let me come there. What is dull? You see some part. Huh? Okay. Did you observe his eyes? More specifically, what did you observe in the eye? Huh? So eyes, what exactly you saw here is what is happening to his eyes. Like, he's not deliberately doing this. But what you see is with fever, he is not able to open his eyes. Okay, must be got heated up. Yeah. So with fever, he is not able to open his eyes. This is what you saw. I'll also show you a follow-up video. And generally fever, we don't give too much of time. We expect the patient to come back in next 24 hours, report to us, and we would like to understand what changes our remedy has brought after fever. So what you saw here, 30 seconds is, you see a boy, young boy with fever, high fever, and you also saw him wearing something. So what is it also indicating? So he is feeling cold. So as a homeopathic student, he is thermally chilly or hot? Very good, he is chilly. He is chilly and mother is telling he has been having fever for last 2 days and you saw the eyes were getting closed. He is not able to keep his eyes open. He is feeling heavy. Okay. So tomorrow you have this situation in your clinic. You have a remedy, but let me show you what happened after giving a homeopathic remedy. Okay. So there's some issue. Fine. Must be the previous session was very hot. And one of your friend presented a seminar. So the entire system has got heated up. Okay, anyway, good. So we'll focus. And by the time he fixes the problem, we'll talk of remedies. So you were telling me about aconite as a remedy for, what is it? Examination fear. Is Ethusa done? Yes. So Ethusa is also a remedy for examination fear. We spoke of Silesia, if you remember. Silesia also has examination fear. Remedies from your first year syllabus. Any other remedies you can think of? Okay, anacardium. Anacardium is a second year syllabus, but good. One of your friend was talking of anacardium. Now what happens in Ethusa? Why do they have examination fear? Why do they have examination fear? Ethusa. See, examination fear in Ethusa. What is Ethusa mind? How are they mentally? Ethusa Maklo, how are they mentally? What is the common name of Ethusa? Is Ethusa over or no? Very good, I appreciate. In spite of not answering the questions, you are telling very honestly, yes sir, Ethusa is over. Very good, keep it up. Because many times students are manipulative. When they don't know the answer, they'll become a team and everybody will shout, Ethusa is not over sir. But luckily, that honesty is still there in you. Now the common name of Ethusa is false parsley. Yeah, she remembered. And why I am more worried is your exams are next month. That is what is making me worry. And you should be ready by now. So false parsley is the common name of Ethusa. Now why was it called false parsley? Because the remedy was basically indicated for people or children who are very foolish, who are very idiotic. If you read Ethusa mind, you will realize that Ethusa will not understand things very easily. They are very dull, they are very idiotic, they are very foolish. So the problem in Ethusa is the intellect. They are not studied and so they are afraid. Okay. Exactly opposite to Cilicia. Cilicia is highly intelligent. But Cilicia will have a lot of anticipation. Sir, I have studied very well. I have studied very well, but Cilicia has lack of confidence. Cilicia needs that boost. Somebody tell you, no, it will be easy. You have studied so well. You can do it. Don't worry. So Cilicia is intelligent, hardworking, very well prepared, but some issues with his confidence. And that is what is pulling him back. That is Cilicia. Okay. Somebody was talking of Anacadem. That we'll discuss next year. Fine. So we will not club things and confuse you. Because you have your exams coming up. Okay. But Anacadem is a beautiful remedy. Fine. It almost comes very close to Ethosa. They are not very intelligent guys. Fine. They have issues with their intellect. So we will. Yeah. We'll just see if it is ready. It will be ready. Okay. So what I was just trying to tell you is, so this boy, please remember tomorrow in your clinic you have patients coming for acute complaints and they are not able to open their eyes. Fine. Eyes feel very heavy, eyelids feels very heavy and they feel like closing. With lot of difficulty they open, they are very drowsy. Okay. One remedy you think of is what we are going to discuss today. Should I play it again or will we go for the next video? Yeah, we'll go for the next video. So what we'll do is, extract on the channel. Okay. Fine. So here, please observe. Can you make out the difference? Same boy. Okay. 24 hours. Please observe his eye. Please observe his face. And please correlate with the previous video you have seen. And this is what happened within 24 hours. We were just checking with the mother. Yesterday temperature was 102, I told you. And today after our medicine is absolutely fine. Okay? Done? So what was the remedy that was given? Thank you. What was the remedy that was given is what we are going to discuss today. So the remedy given is what we are going to explore and one second. Okay. So the remedy given to him was GELSEMIUM. Okay. This plant you would have seen in your pharmacy class. So GELSEMIUM sempervirens. GELSEMIUM sempervirens is the full name of the remedy that we are going to discuss. And no mask for guessing the common name, because if you just see the flower, it's got yellow flower, right? And the common name which can be your viva question is yellow jasmine. Okay? And for a first year student, you also have to understand that the family to which this particular remedy belongs to is Loganaceae. Okay? Any other remedies that you can recall? Very good, beautiful, good. Ignitia. Naxwamica. Okay, you also have spigelia. Top remedies. You can also have GELSEMIUM, and tincture of the bark of the root is what we use in homeopathic preparation. And GELSEMINE is the alkaloid of GELSEMIUM. See, notes is ready. I'll give you the notes. I've got the notes, you can take a pic. Please focus, it's very important. Okay? And in spite of that, you feel that you understand better writing, I have no issues. Right? And I've been always insisting, for a teacher, eye contact is very important. If I don't look into your eyes or you don't look into my eyes, the class will become difficult. Right? So, but we have different types of learners. Few of them are very comfortable. Sir, when you when you are teaching, when I write now, I can register it better. So if you are one among those, you are free to write. But for the formality sake, if you are writing, I have a notes ready, you can take a pick later. So Dr. Hahnemann, our founder, was the person who proved, and I have just given you a brief history because these are all nice to know things. Okay, and the medicinal history of gelsemium dates from the time when a Mississippi planter was accidentally cured with a effusion of the root administered by mistake for some other plant. Say actually a planter had an effusion, so the herbal doctor, whoever it is, wanted to give some other plant. Accidentally he gives tincture of this particular plant, and that particular plant cures his effusion. So that's how they started getting doubt about the medicinal property, and they started exploring more in detail about the medicinal properties of gelsemium. Okay, it is a very highly poisonous plant. Fine, and we will quickly look at the objectives set for today. So I have kept it simple. Some 3 or 4 small areas I am going to discuss because we don't have so much of time. Now what you see here is we will be focusing on the sphere of action, very important, must-know area, and we will also be focusing on the ailments from the must-know area, and then of course the characteristic symptoms, which is a must-know area, and then we will be looking at few mild symptoms and few particular symptoms of gelsemium. Okay, so we are discussing a remedy by name gelsemium. Fine. So and these are all the areas that we are looking at. Okay. So first, very important, I told you it's a poison. Fine. And you see this particular remedy predominantly acting on the cerebrospinal system. Basic anatomy, cerebrospinal system. Okay. There are many remedies by now, you know, which acts on cerebrospinal system. Which are the other remedies? Which are the other remedies? Huh? Ailments? No issues. What happens in Ailments? Where is Ailments predominantly acting? Very good. Nose and the upper respiratory tract. Okay. Now remedy acting on the nervous system. Huh? Very good. Aconite. Good. No issues. Aconite. Ignitia. Good. Ignitia, aconite. Huh? Okay. See, I mean, our students are advanced. They are talking remedies out of syllabus. No issues. When he is talking about tobacco, no problem. See, now simple remedies for a first year student can be Naxvomica. Okay, Naxvomica is a beautiful remedy from the same family. Right? So, cerebrospinal system, I am seeing the image here. You know that it is causing a condition called as paralysis. Okay? And again, the question is, the other remedies for paralysis? Okay, you have aconite, you also have Naxvomica. See, colocin mainly acts on nerves for neuralgia. See, colocin, I am happy you thought of colocin, but colocin will not cause more of paralysis. Colocin acting on nerves can cause more of neuralgia. Fine, you know, facial neuralgia, you can see colicky pains. Right? Naxvomica can cause paralysis. Okay? Okay? So, even acting on lungs, you see this remedy causing paralysis. Acting on the eyes. Okay? Other remedies acting on the eyes. Euphrasia. Ailments, very good. Apis mellifica, good. Natramure, Naxvomica, Pulsatilla, sulfur, many remedies. There are 50 remedies, if I am right. Fine? Okay. So, acting on the eyes, please have a look at the image. What do you see? What do you see? The eyelid, okay, is going into paralysis. Fine? Ptosis. Please remember the medical term, ptosis. Ptosis. So, the eyelids, they are going into paralysis. Okay, ptosis. Very important in gelsemium. It's a beautiful remedy acting on the heart. I have the same question for you. Other remedies acting on heart? Okay, good. Today is Aconite's day. Anything I am asking, you are all very happily telling aconite. Good, aconite. We will also differentiate aconite from gelsemium a little later. Naxvomica. Okay, so heart. So it shows the preparation is not sufficient for exams. Okay. Yeah, we'll come back. Again, showing this image should bring in lot of remedies. I'm happy you thought of renal, good. And one of your friend immediately is talking about Naxomica. I appreciate. You need better remedies. Good, louder, at least. Then the remedy that I have to do, I am not done, is lycopodium. I'll do it next week. Okay? Beautiful remedy. What will happen here? See, you are talking of abyss. You know, abyss causes more of inflammation. You will see nephritis, you will see cystitis. What are you seeing here? Very good. You see the bed is wet. Why is the bed wet? Because the child has no control over the bladder or over that micturition reflex that you have studied in your physiology. That control is lost. Why is that control lost? Why is that control lost? Because the bladder muscles are gone into a state of paralysis. So the child is not able to retain urine and there is involuntary urination. Okay. And the last area what you see here is the male genitalia. Any wild guess what could be the action of gels on male genitalia? It causes, see, you see nerves going big. What happens when the nerve supply is affected? Very good. Impotency. Your friend got it right. Impotency. Okay. So this is the slide which is dedicated for the sphere of action and pathogenesis of gelsemium. Okay. So moving forward, we are looking at our second objective for today. And what is that second objective? We are focusing on ailments from. See, whenever I am showing you the image, you will have two small duties to do. One, you have to identify what it is, and the second very important thing, because we are almost closing the syllabus, you should also quickly recall the other remedies. So what is that you see here? Ailments from? Very good. Damp weather. You see a lot of moisture in the image that I have taken. So this is ailments from damp weather. Otte irutte. Fine. Okay. So other remedies? Very good. Beautiful. Good. Dalcamara. Colchicum. Okay. Colchicum was more in autumn. No problem. Colchicum. One more remedy. Allium sirpa. Yes. Allium sirpa. One more remedy is natrum sulph. A good. Beautiful. Rustox. What will happen in rustox? So people, when they are sleeping in the park, in this damp weather, that side of the body will go into paralysis. And the remedy is rustox. People in the damp weather, when they are lying on that particular side, if that goes into paralysis, the remedy is rustox. Good, I am happy. So rustox, dalcamara, natrum sulph, and of course you are talking of allium sirpa. Okay. And also include gelsemium. Ailments which also comes from exposure to sun. Again, it's a revision for you. Later you will appreciate. Sulfur, very good. Second, beautiful, good. I'm happy. That's the remedy wanted. Antimonium crude. What will happen in antimonium crude? Very good. More than headache. Bathing under sun, in sea, in river, they will have hoarseness of voice. There will be loss of voice. Our voice goes hoarse after, see, many times you go for trips now. Many times must be after your exams, you might plan for a trip. And it will be very hot. And you are playing in water. Under sun you are playing in water and then you have hoarseness of voice. This combination is antimonium chloride. Okay, it works beautiful. You can carry a small bottle of antimonium chloride. If at all your friend lands up in this particular scenario, give a dose of antimonium chloride and you will be the hero or heroine in that. They will start appreciating, oh good, I'm fine now. So beautiful remedy, antimonium chloride. And ailments from fear. Fear is something we will realize in gelsemium. It's very, very intense. I'll be explaining under mind. And you also have ailments which comes from any surprise. Can you give me an example for pleasant surprise or sudden surprise? See, surprises can be two. What is it? Surprise can be something happy, exciting. And surprise can be something depressing. Fine. A girl, fine. She says, must be she's giving you a deadline. Tomorrow I'll tell you if I'm really in love with you or not. Fine. And you're also waiting eagerly. What will she tell? And she says, no, I don't like you. Fine. Okay. So what is that? But you are very keen and you are 100% sure. Sir, I didn't know if I'll pass in Materia Medica or not, but I was very sure I'll pass in this loud test, sir. But unfortunately, this girl says, no, I was just your friend. You mistook me. Whatever. Fine. Or Materia, you pass tomorrow. So there can be two reactions. Sir, I pass. So you again go cross check. Pass, no, fine, and it can be a surprise. It's a sarcastic thing, don't take it too seriously, but wish all of you pass and I continue teaching you even in second year. Okay, so what is very important is surprise, pleasant surprise. Sir, I did not expect she will love me, sir. And your surprise, and it is a pleasant surprise. I did not expect. So many girls are behind her, sir, and she chose me, sir. I'm very happy. Very excited, right? So pleasant surprise, anger, and then there can be grief. Grief, there are beautiful remedies. Ignition. See, when I talk to you about surprise, yeah, who's that? Coffee and Villara. Very good, beautiful. Coffee. I just, you have time or should I finish it fast? You have time? Shall I share a case? Okay. So the idea is like, we had a girl who had high fever. And this happened just after COVID. She had high fever, and then I asked, she's a very sweet girl, I know her, small girl, 6 years or 7 years. I asked her, what happened and all those things, and then father told, sir, COVID, we did not celebrate their birthday. Okay? COVID, because of COVID, they are twins. They did not celebrate the birthday. And after COVID, parents, had a very grand celebration of the birthday. And she was the comparer in the birthday. She thanked all the relatives, friends who came, everything and all. And she was super excited. And 12 o'clock midnight, she landed up with 103 fever. Don't feel sorry. You're a doctor. Fine? You'll have to understand. So I was asking the child, did somebody scold? Or did you expect some gift? You did not get the gift, whatever. Why did you get fever? So ultimately what we concluded or what we came across was, she was super excited. She was very happy, very cheerful, very joy. There was so much of joy. And this joy gave rise to fever. And the remedy is coffee. After a dose of coffee, she beautifully improved. Okay, so this is what I want you to understand. So coffee for fever, when it is because of excitement, joy, and this is what I was trying to tell you. What is this?
Anticipation.
Very good, beautiful. Anticipation. Will she accept? She has told me at 1 o'clock. So, you cross your fingers and you're waiting. What the verdict is. Fine? My exams, my results, whatever. So, ailments from anticipation, what will happen? Ailments from bad news. She did not even come. She messaged telling, I don't care about you. 1:30 you did not come. Fine, I'm waiting for you. You told 1 o'clock. And 1:45 she will tell a message. I'm not at all interested. Fine, so ailments from bad news. Okay? So ailments from bad news, ailments from onanism, sexual excess, masturbation, ailments from alcohol, okay? Ailments from haircut, and the last very important ailment is ailment from injury. So you understand that the remedy that we are discussing today is a remedy which is very deep. It's got a lot of information. It's got a solid sphere of action acting on different parts of our body, and it's got very eminent, prominent ailments from. And you should not miss this in your clinic tomorrow. So this is the ailments from in GELSEMIUM. We'll speak about the characteristic symptoms. What is PQRS? This is something you can start answering from the image. What do you see? What is this image you see here? Very good. So see, I asked you what is the image, and I'm very happy you concluded telling slow. Now what made you think of slow? Snail. And this creature is known for being very slow. It carries its own house. If you know, I will not get into the snail part, but it's a very slow creature. Okay? Many of you are shouting aconite, aconite. Okay? Now, do you understand the difference between aconite and gelsemium? What is the simple difference between aconite and gelsemium? Aconite is sudden. When I asked you remedies, you suddenly told aconite. That is suddenness. Okay, I asked remedy, you know, I give you hints, blah, 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 and then after a long time you answer, that is slow. That is gelsemium. So gelsemium will have more of slow onset. Now, how do you apply this in a clinic tomorrow? No patient will come and tell, uncle, auntie, slow is onset, please give gelsemium. They will not come, correct? No? So, but how do you interpret? So, for example, they come to you with fever. So, what is the question you ask? Kab se? Since when you have fever? What is the mother going to tell you? Sir, 3 din pehle we are going to a party and my son had ice cream. Kab? 3 din pehle. Assuming he was aconite, what would have happened? Sudden. Fine. Ice cream kaya, shayad 1 or 2 hours and all you might have issues, suddenness. What happened here? He ate ice creams 3 days back and then slowly, next day he might have a small cold, next day he might have a small body pain, cough, and then the second day evening or third day he starts up with fever. Now this is what we call it as insidious onset. Insidious means slow. So please remember, a remedy which has slow onset, a remedy in which symptoms come up slowly is gelsemium. Okay, so we'll move further. This is very important. Eyes. What did you see under spear of action? What did you see under spear of action? What was it? Ptosis, paralysis, or in the case what did I show you? The eyeballs, eyelids are very heavy, very, very heavy. Heaviness of eyeballs is a very important feature of gelsemium. Okay? Third very important thing, what do you see here? What do you see here? No, just focus on the image. Okay, running, fine, okay, running. But what I want you to understand is, in gelsemium, there is a feeling. If I don't walk, my heart will stop beating. What is it? Gelsemium, under heart complaints, you have this beautiful symptom, and the symptom is, if I don't walk, my heart will stop beating. So I have to keep walking. Done? Exactly opposite you have in another remedy. If I walk, my heart will stop beating. So I just sit. Right? A good thought, Brahmia, but that is digitalis. But I am happy you thought of Brahmia. Good. Because what happens in Brahmia? Slightest movement aggravates. But we are talking of heart. Anxiety, heart will stop beating if I walk. So I just keep quiet. If I don't walk, heart will stop beating is gelsemium. So I keep walking. Or I keep moving. Gelsemium. Okay? And then you also have a beautiful remedy. A great paralyzer. We'll discuss this a little later. And gels is a remedy which is thirstless. Not aversion, thirstless. They don't feel thirsty much. Bukhar hai, fever hai, fine. Or any complaints they come to you with. You ask them the water intake. Sir, subah se sham tak hardly 1 glass I would have had. I don't feel like drinking. So that is more of gelsemium. Thirstless. Which are the other thirstless remedies? Epis mellifica. Zetuza, very good. Okay, arsenic. Fine. Okay. Apis mellifica. Here is the apis, zetuza. Exact arsenicum. Exactly opposite. Increased thirst. Aconite. Natramure. Brahmia. Okay. And there is a very important location. I will be explaining in detail. Headache starts in the occiput, goes up and settles over the eye. I am explaining this again, so let's not worry much here. But these are all the characteristic symptoms you have in gelsemium. Okay, and a beautiful remedy for fever, which we'll be looking more in detail. Okay. So what I want you to remember here is we spoke of three objectives. What was the first objective? Sphere of action, very good. And then we spoke of ailments now, and just now we concluded the characteristic symptoms. Okay. So any quick questions? Any clarification? Okay. If things are clear, we will look at the mind of gelsemium. Mentally, how is a gelsemium person? Now that you know some 40 plus remedies which has different mind, which has different mental symptoms. Okay. Now, what is it that you have in gelsemium? Looking at the Google images I have taken, what you see is gelsemium is basically a very timid guy. Gelsemium is a coward. What do you understand by timid and coward? Okay, shyness can be a reason for timidity. Good. Shyness is something different. A shy person can be timid, but timidity is not equal to shyness. Okay. One reason for shyness can be, one reason for timidity can be shyness. So timid and coward, okay, both means people who have got less courage. People who have less courage, less confidence. Okay, fine. And if you are looking at the difference between timid and coward, coward is a guy who will run away. Many times in English we use no, he's a very coward guy. So if there is some problem, girlfriend, some boys are troubling her, what will the coward boyfriend do? He will run away. You see many reels. Okay, when some strong guy comes and stands, this guy, he forgets about the girlfriend and is worried about himself and he runs away. So he is a coward boyfriend. Okay, so coward is a guy who's got less courage. Fine. So gelsemium can be cowardly and inability to face challenges. The cowardness you have in gelsemium is more of an inability to face challenges, and you see a lot of anticipation. What do you understand by anticipation? Yeah. What will happen? You have written your exams and you are anticipating for the results. Fine. पास होगा कि नहीं होगा? अगर पास होगा तो कितने आएगा? Fail होगा तो कितने मार्क्स में जाएगा? Fine, a lot of thinking happening. Anticipation. See now, very important. If you read Dr. Kent's Materia Medica, he says a gelsemium patient before going to church, a gelsemium patient before going for some engagement. Engagement means in a work. He will have anticipation and he will have diarrhea. Same situation, some teacher will be talking to you in a remedy, and that remedy is argentum nitricum. Okay. So any anticipation brings on diarrhea. Okay. And gels is a person who has got bad stage fear. Your name has been called, and you have a lot of issues going on the stage, and many times he'll be in the toilet, he'll be in the washroom. Gelsemium patient, argentum nitricum patient, they'll be busy there in the washroom. So stage fear and this is what we started with, a beautiful remedy for examination fear. Not only stage fear, examination fear. Beautiful remedy. Okay. Especially when they get headaches, when they get sick. Exam fear, what exactly are the symptoms are also very important. Gelsemium might land up with fever, or gelsemium might land up with bad headaches. So stage fear, okay, and the other fears you also have with gelsemium are fear of death and fear of being alone, okay, and fear of any new task. For example, a seminar tomorrow. Fine, sir, this time was. No, not me. So, fear of new task, and gelsemium is a slow remedy, not a very intelligent remedy. Okay, so they will have a lot of issues with concentration, they will have issues with memory, and they will have a lot of confusion. Not a very intelligent guy. I am talking to you about the intellect part of GELSEMIUM, confusion, memory issues, concentration issues. So this is in short talking about the mind. See, we have a limitation because I am talking to a first year student about GELSEMIUM. So I am giving you what is only required for a first year student. If the same GELSEMIUM I teach for PGs, it will be 4 hours and only mind will be talking for 2 hours. Because that is their requirement, they need it. Right? And your syllabus may not, insist on knowing the entire thing. But I am giving you a broad picture that there is fear, there is anticipation, they are cowardly, they are timid. I am giving you the essence of GELSEMIUM. Okay? Now, assuming you have understood the mind, we will quickly look at 3 small areas under the body, under the particulars. One area will be the head, the second area will be the paralysis, and the last area will be fever. Next 8-10 minutes we will try to cover it up. Okay. So head, when you talk of head, you might be knowing a lot of remedies having headache. Which are the other remedies? Net remedy, very good. I am happy you spoke of net remedy. What happens in net remedy? What happens in net remedy? The cause is sun, very good, appreciate. Then what are the other probable causes for headache in net remedy? Many times it can be an emotional issues, some death, some disappointment. All those things can give rise to headache. Okay, bad effects of quinine, salt, all those things. And what is the sensation you have in net remedy? As if 1,000 little hammers are hitting, correct? Okay, and you are also talking about belladonna. Now what happens in belladonna? Yeah, one word that should come to your mind is congestion. That's a sudden rush of blood to head and they feel it is going to burst. Suddenness, like you are talking of aconite. Similarly, suddenness is something you see in belladonna, very prominent. Done? So, headache, now the location of headache is very important. In GELSEMIUM, I just mentioned, where do you see headache in GELSEMIUM? Please, you should not forget all these things because this is a patient come to a clinic and they explain. What is your problem? Sir, I have headache. Since when? Sir, last 8 years, 10 years, whatever. Where do you see headache coming? Sir, I have observed last so many years that I have headache here, sir. Okay. Is it only here? No, sir. It goes up here and then till my eye. So it starts in the occiput, ascends up and settles in the eye. It's a 5-mark question. I don't see the need for you to buy heart if you are concentrating on the class. Fine? So this is how it should come to your mind. GELSEMIUM, slow acting remedy, headache in the occiput, ascends up and settles in the eye. That is the location part. Hige baribeku exam alli location, ailments. What could be the probable cause for headache in GELSEMIUM? Don't tell me all the causes. Only headache. What can the causes which can lead to headache is sun. It can be cold exposure. It can be grief. It can be sexual excess. All those things. Fine. So make a small note of it. I am giving you a note. So I already explained. I am not reading what is there in the PPT. Pain in the temples extending to ears, wings of nose and chin. One location we spoke of occiput. The other location is pain in the temples going to the nose, wings. This is the one. And from here it can also go to the ears. Boys, clear? So location and what is the sensation? I have a small image from Google. What is that sensation you have? Bursting. Very good, bursting. Bursting, and one more sensation you also see here is sensation of band around the forehead. You know, olden days tennis player, if you remember, I don't know if these things are used, but when you put this band now, sir, I feel as if there is a band. Band is not there, but I feel as if there is a band. So that is the feeling. Okay. Bursting in the forehead and eyeball. And headache aggravation. When do they aggravate and when do they ameliorate? What is it called? Modality. Aggravation, movement of the head. Which remedy should come in the bracket? Movement of the head. Bryonia. Movement of the eye causes headache, bryonia, or aggravates headache, bryonia. Sun aggravation, mental exertion, this is very, very characteristic. Can be a viva question. Headache better by profuse urination. What is it? Headache better by profuse urination. Bryonia. Bryonia. Then they are listening. Gelsemium. Slow remedy. So slow reaction. If it was aconite, it would have been a different reaction. Sudden reaction. So gelsemium. Right? And headache associated with, this is very important. For me in my clinic, if this symptom is not there, I am not giving gelsemium. Please understand. If there is no heaviness of the eyes, kannu bhaga illa andre, it is not gelsemium. So prominent this symptom is in gelsemium. Okay? Can hardly lift head. So what you understand is there is a location, there is a sensation, there is a modality, and there is a concomitant. Now what is this symptom called? What is this symptom called? It is called as complete symptom. Complete symptom. Okay? So after head, we will look at the eye. What do you see under eye? We spoke of, see, please remember, you also know euphrasia by now. If I had asked this question when I was teaching euphrasia, the answer would have been inflammation, lacrimation, blah blah blah. Now what is the remedy we are discussing? Gelsemium. So from this clear action, what you need to understand, gelsemium is acting on the nerves and it is causing paralysis. So what will happen? So there can be ptosis, fine? Ptosis, or there can be visual disturbance. I hope you are getting my point. Don't use the word confusion. Euphrasia is different. Pulsatile is different. Sulfurite is different. Ailments is different. Gelsemium is different. Here we are not focusing on the discharge. Fine? Here we are not looking at inflammation. Here we are looking something beyond. It is going to paralyze. Alert. Or vision which is double. You are seeing two weaknesses. Right? This weakness or that weakness. Okay? Fine. So, many times we see in movies now, people who are drunk, they will be seeing two heroines and they will be talking to that imaginary heroine there. And the heroine says, hey, I am here. Oh, you are here. And so they will be seeing, for example, double. So, one thing, I was focusing on the ailment. What was the last ailment I told you? Don't look at your books. Last ailment I told you was, please, very good. Please go back to the images. Your memory should be sharp. What is it I told you? Injury. Something should have come to your mind by now. What is that injury that is going to cause? Or what is the effect of injury in gelsemium? See, you know so many injury remedies. Correct? What are all the injury remedies? Arnica, ledum, Bellis, Ruta, Symphonym, etc. I am not going into the details because from your confidence I know you will answer. But what is very important here is, after an injury, what happens? Retina is getting detached. What is it? Retinal detachment after injury. Only remedy in our homeopathic materia medica is gelsemium. So tomorrow you have a patient who has retinal detachment. As you study medicine, you realize retinal detachment could be because of various reasons. Assuming you have a patient in front of you who has retinal detachment because of an injury, then the remedy is gelsemium. Only remedy. It becomes very important. Now, uterus, something PQRS. See, rigid os, during labor, what should happen to the os? The os should dilate so that the fetus comes out. Okay. In gelsemium, the os will be rigid. When you go to gynec postings, you will realize they do pervaginal examination and then they tell single finger dilatation, 2 fingers, 3 fingers. You will be exposed to all that process. What I am trying to tell you is, when the os is rigid, when the os is not opening, fine. When you have false labor pain, GELSEMIUM can be a beautiful remedy. False labor pain extending up to back. See, there is something called as false labor pain, true labor pain, and this will be the challenge teaching materia medica for a first year student. Because false labor pains are told to you in OBG, obstetrics, which you will be studying later. But please go back home and if time permits, please read as an assignment what first of all labor pains are and what is false, what is true. Okay. In GELSEMIUM, false labor pains extending to the back, and very important is rigidos. And dysmenorrhea, painful menses, you know this. And in GELSEMIUM, extending to back and hip, pain from the uterus, going back or going to the hip, GELSEMIUM. And last thing, what is this? We have discussed remedies. Abortion. Remedies for abortion? Dull camera, very good. Who told dull camera? What happens in dull camera? After getting wet. Or wet weather. After getting wet. Okay, another question was put. After getting wet is the single remedy. And we have arnica, beautiful. Arnica is okay, after injury. You also have acconate. What did I tell you in acconate? Shock, fear. I told you something you see which you did not want to see. And then the lady starts with bleeding. Right? Okay. Done? Apis, good. Your CR is talking of apis. When will apis mellifica have abortions? During third month. When will ruta have abortions? Ruta, R-U-T-A, ruta. Huh? Ruta, no? It's not done? Okay, no problem. So, threatened abortion. Fine? So, it's a female. No? Last part, and a very important part that we started off, two more parts, paralysis. I'll make it very simple. 5 mark question in an exams, paralysis of GELSEMIUM. And GELS, I already told you, it's a great paralyzer. See, muscles will not obey the will. What do you understand by this? Muscles will not obey the will. From a physiology, you know that if you want to put your one leg forward, a lot of process will happen. There is this impulse going, coming back, and giving instruction to the leg, put it forward. So in GELSEMIUM, the muscles will not obey the will. Okay, I'll explain. You see paralysis, beautiful remedy for paralysis. Indicated in paralysis of small group of muscles such as eyes, throat, tongue, larynx, when accompanied by marked weakness and mental slowness. Please read the last statement. There are a lot of remedies for paralysis in homeopathic materia medica, but in GELSEMIUM, paralysis should be marked with lot of weakness, and then there should be mental slowness. Only then GELSEMIUM will work. Very important. Okay. So for example, he says paralysis of eyes. Now what will happen when the eye muscles go into paralysis? We saw that a little while ago. There is something called as ptosis. Very good. Or drooping of the eyelids. Good. Second thing, vision can be affected. Blurring of vision, diplopia, these things are possible. So similarly, if there is paralysis of the tongue, if they go into paralysis, why I am confidently asking you this question is, as a physiology student, integrating materia medica with physiology and anatomy, you know the functions of the tongue. And if this tongue is going into paralysis, what will happen? What is tongue basically used for? It can be used for speech, okay, mastication, fine, okay. So what will happen is there can be issues with speech. For example, a man having paralysis of the tongue, he may not be able to talk properly, talk clearly. Fine. So similarly, when there is paralysis of the throat, you have your pharynx, then the esophagus, they go into paralysis. See, muscles are going into paralysis. Why? Difficulty is falling because those muscles are not working. Those muscles are not doing the duty it has to do. Deglutition, the process of swallowing, that gets affected. So they can have difficulty in breathing, difficulty in swallowing. So great paralysis, we saw this, quickly we'll go through the images so that it gets recorded better. So what I was trying to tell you is the, the esophagus, the pharynx, they go into paralysis and you see difficulty in swallowing. And then the last part here is the tongue, we saw that, and even the larynx. What is larynx to do with? Voice. So when larynx goes into paralysis, what will happen? Yeah, very good. Unable to speak. Adana aphonia. You are not able to speak. Aphonia. Okay? Aphonia. Okay. So further, when the bladder muscles they go into paralysis, we saw a picture. What was that? Involuntary urination, bedwetting, are not able to have a control over the urine. Please correlate this with the physiology. Similarly, when the rectal muscles goes into paralysis, what will happen? So the control over the rectal and the anal muscles, that the sphincters, that can be affected, and then there can be involuntary stools. Control involuntary stools, that is possible, and generally there can be paralysis, okay. Paralysis of lower limbs which begins with staggering gait and a sense of heaviness, numbness, and a peculiar inability to direct the muscles. So muscles will not obey the will. Okay. So paralysis. See, you also have paralysis in Naxometa. Then functional paralysis of motor nerves, leaving sensory ones normal. What do you understand by this? So motor nerves, they go into paralysis. The sensory nerves are left. Meaning what? Touch. Illi touch sensation irutte. And this, see, for example, hemiplegia, this is paralyzed. Fine? So when you touch it, now he is able to feel the touch, like the normal hand. That is gelsemium. Motor paralysis, sensory nerves are not affected. Is characteristic in gelsemium. Okay? Now the last part, I also have a class after this. So the last part is the fever. Okay? And from the image, what type of fever can you think gelsemium can be thought of? Okay, see, first year student, there are different types of fever. Intermittent, what happens in intermittent? Temperature goes up and down, but it comes to normal. Okay, it comes to the baseline, but it keeps coming and going. Then there is something called as remittent. What happens in remittent? Temperature will not come to the normal baseline. Okay, and there is something called as bilious fever. Fever because of liver pathology. For example, jaundice. With jaundice, if you have fever, bilious. Eruptive fevers. Okay, very good eruptions. Example, chickenpox, or some viral infections. With skin eruptions, you have fever, or any viral fever, flu, typhoid. You can think of gelsemium. But the symptoms क्या होना है? Gelsemium. See, I am talking from my experience. Muscle pain. When I give gelsemium in my clinic, is when they have bad muscle pain. Myalgia. Muscle goes into weakness, muscle feels strained. They want to just rest. Fine? And they feel very cold. And what did I tell you related to the eyes? Eyes feel very heavy. Heaviness of the eyes. Fine? They just want to rest. Okay, severe body pain, weakness. Fine? So, loss of muscle power, involuntary stool, urine. These are few symptoms. What about the thirst in gelsemium? Thirstless. They don't feel thirsty. Fever with thirstlessness, drowsiness, distorted face, yellow coated tongue, slow pulse, there is weakness. These are a few symptoms related to the fever of gelsemium. And then, onset of fever. Slow onset, you know that, slow onset. And then, I am talking to you about intermittent fever, where a person will have chills. Now the speciality of gelsemium is chills runs up and down the spine. Please remember, we ask the patient, "Elli chali, where do you feel the cold?" That's a cold piche. Back में हो रहा है, इधर हो रहा है. They may not use the word spine, but बीच में हो रहा है डॉक्टर साहब. तन उधर ऊपर जा रहा है, नीचे आ रहा है. Chills runs up and down the spine, very very important. Okay. And with cold hand and feet, chills running up and down the back. During heat stage, they don't feel thirsty, they feel drowsy, and there is burning heat. The patient we saw, he was also drowsy. Sweat stage, not profuse, but during sweat he feels thirsty. So in gelsemium, there is no thirst in the chill stage, there is no thirst in the heat stage. When are they feeling thirsty? Sweat stage. Intermittent, viral fever, typhoid, all those things, when you have that muscle pains, drowsiness, dullness, just want to rest, feeling very cold, body pains, you can think of gelsemium. Okay? Last part is the modalities, when it aggravates. All the ailments can be aggravating factors. Bad news, excitement, thinking of his complaint, tobacco, and one ameliorating factor. Huh? What is it? So what is better? What is better? Headache. So profuse urination ameliorates his headache. So this is about gelsemium. Quickly, is this sphere of action clear? Where do you see gelsemium acting? Cerebrospinal system, very good. Eyes, heart, lungs, male genitalia, bladder. Very good. Okay, good. Ailments from? So the last ailment we saw was injury. From damp weather, sun, lot of mental ailments, grief, etc., etc. And then characteristic symptoms, slow onset, very important. Thirstless. Okay, then? It's a great paralyzer. Good. Fourth, headache starts in the occiput and settles over the eye. And then we also saw that heart. He has to keep moving. If it does not move, what is the feeling he is getting? Heart will stop. We should be careful. Okay. And then bodily symptoms, we mainly focused on head, eye. And then we also saw the fever. We spoke of paralysis. We spoke of heart. And the last thing we spoke was fever. If you are lucky, it can be a 10-mark question. If you are not that lucky, at least you will have one 5-mark question. Okay, they can ask you fever, they can ask you paralysis, or they can ask you headache. Any of these questions can be a 5-marker. If you are not lucky, then clinic, it can help you treat in case, if you don't get in your exams, trust me, it's very important remedy in a practice. It can make wonders. Okay, if you can't treat fever, if you can't treat small things, it can affect your confidence and the patient's confidence. And gels is one remedy which can do wonders in fevers or in acute problems. Okay. Any quick questions? All clear? Chalo, thank you. Thanks.